What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 50 of Thinktwice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Aintrazi. Ali,
man, we're so old.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. I was going to say you're getting old.
50.
You're getting old.
I am pretty old. But 50 years old. We have 50 episodes. That's crazy.
50 is a lot.
That is a lot.
It's so much more than 49.
It is. It does sound more. It does look more than 49.
It is. It is more. It's significantly more. If you double 49, you're only at 98, and no one cares about episode 98 of it.
No, episode 100
yeah,
now.
That's something.
Now
that's
we're
something to
cooking.
talk about. That's something to talk about. And we're about a year away from that.
Yeah, it's like rice versus hibachi, fried rice with eggs and all that stuff. So
yeah, I think that's the perfect comparison. I don't think I could make a better comparison.
No, I don't think so either.
All right, so what did you get into over the weekend?
Laying in bed.
Oh man, that sounds great.
No, I did go out. I did go out and play some Pokemon.
That's good. You've been hatching a lot of eggs, I've heard.
I've been running a lot. I've been trying to run 15 miles per week, and I've hatched a ton of eggs. I've actually so they're low lineage or whatever. So I've hatched 26 Meowth, 11 Sandshrew, 5 Grimer, and 0 Vulpix.
Oh, but Vulpix is the cutest one.
Yes, I just want Vulpix now. So I've hatched 42 eggs.
Jeez,
total.
I hatched 0. Now I've only gotten 1 because my eggs have been full on Pokemon Go.
Yeah. So I have 0 Vulpix, and now they just recently added, I think today, Rattata to the egg list. So now I'm even like more tilted. Please just give me the Vulpix so I can just stop. So I can stop.
Well, you can't stop. What are you going to do? If you get them, you got to hatch them.
Well, I'll fill my bag up with regular eggs. I don't necessarily need Alolan eggs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm also like not accepting gifts because if a bag is full and I accept the gift and it has an egg, I won't get the egg.
That's true. But you just said you don't want the egg.
I do want the egg until I get Vulpix. I need Vulpix. The icy
man.
Vulpix.
I have 1 Alolan egg right now. What if I just hatch the Vulpix?
Then you trade it
I
to
could
me.
trade it to you because that's where we are now. Congratulations, Pokemon Go. You did it. You did it 2 years,
Finally.
almost 2 years later.
To be fair,
not their fault. They don't want to release the game when it did. But that's a whole different story.
Yeah. This
weekend, I got to play a little bit of Pokemon Go as well. I sent you stuff from where I was at Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yep. I'll send you stuff from the 10,000 churches where my
you literally sent me all churches and Starbucks. Which I think appropriately sums up where you live.
Yep. I have to go out of my way for Starbucks, but yep, is definitely where I live.
Those have been the two. It's like church, Starbucks, church, Starbucks, church, Starbucks. It's like, okay.
There you go.
I went to GP Pittsburgh. Highlights for me were I met one listener. One person was like, "Hey, I really enjoy Thinktwice," and I was like, "Oh man, thank you. I was really excited about that." So if you are the person listening that met me at GP Pittsburgh, thank you. I'm not giving shout outs to anybody else I met at Pittsburgh except for you. That have 2 legs.
Thank
2 legs
you.
anyway.
I'm only gonna give them a shout out. Was it a he?
It was a he.
I'm only gonna give him a shout out too. Nobody else.
No one.
And I'd even go to GP Pittsburgh.
But he appreciates you.
So thank you.
Also met many puppers. There's so many puppers.
Oh,
because
man. I saw that picture.
They brought a team of therapy dogs that were in training into the GP. And it was like the greatest thing ever. There was like 12. They're
That's
all
fantastic.
different breeds. They're all adorable. I got to pet them all. One of them, named McQueen, did a trick off my back.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was great. They had trading cards. I got McQueen's trading card. That's adorable. That was on Sunday too. The person that told me that they listened to Thinktwice and then meeting all the puppers. That was the best part.
Yeah, I was gonna get Maggie to be a training dog, but it cost a lot of money.
Yeah. These were very sweet puppers. I should have taken more pictures, but I didn't want to there were a lot of people there, and I already.
Oh, not a trained dog, but one of the best, a therapy dog.
A therapy dog. Okay, there's service dogs and there's therapy dogs.
There's a what?
A service dog or a therapy dog?
Yeah.
Which
therapy
one?
dog.
Therapy dog? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because she's very therapeutic for me. And also, I hate leaving weekends with going to Botany without her was just very
I know you were very sad.
I was sad.
Did you say ugh?
Yeah.
You mean Ugin? Question of the week last week: should Ugin have had a card in Magic Core Set 2019 or later? Ali said M19. I said later. 39% of you agree with Ali, and 51% of you surprisingly agreed with me. I thought more people would be up for Ugin in this set.
I got demolished.
But I guess my argument was so strong. They were just like, wow, he's so right.
Yeah. I think they're more traumatized by Ugin, the last Ugin that just destroyed everything.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I wonder how many of their votes were swung by playing against Tron over the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're like, I'm good.
Yeah, probably okay. But, probably could not have another.
But I wanted like a colored Ugin that transformed into a colorless Ugin. So he wasn't colorless to begin with.
But he becomes colorless.
Yeah.
Now, see? Who cares? 51% of people.
Apparently so. Apparently I am wrong.
That is the majority of people. Yeah. The majority of people. We have a show for today. Obviously, we have a show every week, but our first topic was one. It is a hot topic. In fact, It was not one that we were prepared to talk about, but Ali and I have a lot of feelings about this. So before we get to that, we want to thank everyone who's listening on one of our great platforms, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, and Stitcher, or any other podcast app that you're listening to. If you don't mind, and you can take 30 seconds out of your day, even less if you're not concerned about forming coherent sentences, please leave us a comment or a review or a like on one of those platforms. It really helps us get our reach out, and that is the best thing for us right now. So if you don't mind to do that, we would very much appreciate it.
Yes.
Now,
please help us out. Please help us out and let us stop flyers. Give us some reach.
Yeah.
Block them.
We've been having a lot of trouble with flyers.
We have.
We just don't have the reach. We'd like it. I don't want to be a spider, though. They're the primary reacher. I'll be an archer. They have reach, right?
I mean, I'll be a world breaker.
You be the spider. World breaker. You can't just go pick a mythic rare. Oh, I'll be Motani.
I'm called Ali Aintrazi, so I'll be world breaker.
Fine. Well, I don't have anything that rhymes with my name, so I'm just going to be an archer.
Okay, that seems good to me.
Okay, all right. So we're going to take a quick break. When we return, our first segment is going to be discussing the very popular Silver Showcase Draft. Wizards of the Coast announced at press.
God!
Hey, calm down. I haven't even said it yet. Don't react.
Oh my God!
This afternoon, before we recorded, that they were at Pro Tour 25th anniversary, which I think is the name of the Pro Tour. Great naming conventions, as always, from Wizards. But they are having an event called Pro Tour 25th anniversary. Okay, also stupid. They're having an event called the Silver Showcase. Now, before I tell you what this event is, one, you already know, but let's pretend you didn't. What would you think the event is?
Silver pros being invited to a tournament. So
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense because that's the lowest pro level, right? Silver.
Yeah, so maybe like giving them some help.
Oh man, that's great. People that are at silver, man, they're getting the special event just for them.
Finally,
being showcased.
Because maybe like to get some silvers, like, hey guys, keep grinding. Next year maybe you'll go gold.
You're doing great. You're doing great. We really want to help you out.
Yeah, and here's a tournament just for you.
Just for you. Yeah. Guess what it actually is?
What?
It's a tournament where they invited 8 people.
Just 8 people?
Just 8 people. And not magic.
So the prize pool is like
just
8,000 probably?
8,000. $150,000 doll hairs.
For 8 people.
For 8 people. That's a chunk of change. Some would say it's the most ever given out in one tournament per person.
This is the highest. This is the highest EV tournament
of all time
ever.
Ever so far. Not possible. I'm sure they could do better since they just have $150,000 hanging around their pockets.
So are they inviting old men with silver hair, like silver foxes?
Actually, some of them. Well, it looks like none of them actually have any gray hair, but some of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, some of them definitely could. Anyway.
So why is it called? Why is it called? First of all, can you tell me why it's called Silver Showcase? Oh, you can't.
No, there's literally no explanation of why it's called the Silver Showcase. But it's a $150,000 tournament. where they've invited 8 human beings that have played Magic before, previously, to play for $150,000. And they're doing, it's a pretty unique event. It's a Rochester draft. First of all, this draft is going to be so long. It's a Rochester draft where people are going to draft 3 packs of Beta, 1 pack of Arabian Nights, 1 pack of Antiquities, and 1 pack of Legend.
All right, well, can I guess some of the top 8 players in this event? I'm going to guess. Okay. Is Reed Duke's definitely there, right?
No.
Seth Manfield?
No.
Owen Turnwald?
No.
Jerry Thompson?
No.
Brad Nelson?
No.
Shota Yasuka?
No. My favorite.
BBD?
No.
Okay, William Jensen then?
No.
Ben Stark?
No.
Okay, all right, Kai Bood?
No.
Oh my god.
To be fair, Ollie, 4 of the 8 people that they invited are some of the best Magic players of all time.
Okay.
I'll give them that. They're all certainly like in the top
but no Kai.
15. No Kai. No Kai Bood.
Okay.
They've invited Raphael Levy.
Okay.
Shuhei Nakamura. John Finkel and Paulo Vitor Damarosa.
Okay.
I would argue 2 of those players are in the top 3 of all time, and then Raph Levy and Shuhei are in somewhere in the top 10 or 15 respectively. All fantastic players, historically some of the greatest players of all time, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But that's not why we're talking about this today. Because you know what? If they just invited 8 people like that, it'd be like, you know what? This is kind of a crazy event, and it's like the rich get richer type situation, but it's...
We're used to that, I guess.
But it's understandable.
All right.
So...
Keep going. Let me hear the other 4.
So, okay, here's what I want to read off of the website. It says, the Silver Showcase highlights players from the Pro Tours past and present as they revisit a beloved old format using booster packs from Magic's first year. One, this event play-wise is going to be miserable because these are not meant for limited. Anyway, going on. You're like, okay, past and present, great. So it's those 4. And then it says, the above 4 players will be joined by 4 individuals who were hand-selected by Wizards of the Coast as recognition for their contributions to competitive gaming history, either on the Pro Tour or elsewhere.
Where's elsewhere?
Wherever they want.
Okay.
Hearthstone.
All right.
Specifically Hearthstone.
All right.
Just to clarify. But elsewhere.
Okay.
And elsewhere.
Yep.
So you have Brian Kibler, who it's like, oh, okay. I mean, he is Kibler's won 2 Pro Tours. He's in the Hall of Fame. Like, this is not too much of a stretch, right? He's kind of switched over to Hearthstone as his primary game, but he's got a reason to be there, right? Ultimately, it's like, okay, it's like if he was like the last person in the field, you're like, you know what? I get it, because he's a face that's in the Pro Tour Hall of Fame. He is known.
He's earned his way.
Exactly. He's known more for Hearthstone at this point than he is for Magic, which is kind of crazy, but it's true. Either way, he's certainly done enough to be in an event that is, as we'll get to, something that is primarily done for watching.
Right.
Then we have Stanislav Sivka. Okay, all right. Also a Pro Tour winner. Won Pro Tour tournament at Ravnica, which we were both at, in Seattle, playing Eggs in Modern. Got a bunch of cards. However, he is primarily known for
streaming?
also Hearthstone. Also Hearthstone. Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. Interesting. Okay. Then we have, but he's won a Pro Tour, right? Okay. I mean, it's, he's not up there with anyone. I think a lot of Magic players would recognize him. But
he's not Kibler level, but yeah.
As far as recognition goes.
Yeah.
Well, you want to talk about recognition. How about David Williams, who is known to most of the world as a poker player or someone that appeared on MasterChef, which is a cooking show. Now, I've met Dave. I've actually met a handful of these people, but Dave's a great guy.
Yeah, I mean,
and
of course.
He's a good Magic player. He's won Grand Prix. Hasn't won a Pro Tour. I mean, not that you need it, but either way,
he's
not someone that you would, if you're naming the top 25 Magic players all in history, he's not cracking the list.
Right. Well, yeah, Kibler at least, he was Hall of Fame. He created content, created videos, all kinds of stuff, right?
And has earned his bid in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
he's contributed. contributed to Magic and won a lot. And then number 8 is, I want to preface this by saying I actually really like this person.
I too. I've watched a lot of his streams.
I think this is a person that is without a doubt a net positive for streaming and gaming in general. Mm-hmm. However, his inclusion in this, along with the rest of these guys, makes me really. This is again why we're here. So 8th person is Amaz or Jason Chan, which most people do not know what his name is. This is his profile that they posted, which it looks like he's his picture. While the rest of these people have had their picture taken, Kibler's wearing a Star City shirt. Sifka looks like his top 8 picture from the Pro Tour that he won. Dave Williams from a recent Pro Tour. And Amaz looks like his friend took out his iPhone and took a picture in the public library and posted it up there. It says, Jason Chan, perhaps better known by the video game community as Amaz, is one of Twitch's most prominent collectible card game streamers and is ranked in the top 100 for most followed broadcasters on the platform. Again, and he's actually a great streamer.
I agree.
His first Pro Tour was Kyoto in 2017, again, which is the last Pro Tour of last year, and has been an avid draft fanatic on Magic Online since he started playing a few years ago. You're telling me somebody, I understand that they're very popular with people outside of Magic, because he drafts on Magic Online and he started playing a few years ago, that this person, along with these other 4 people that are known more for outside of Magic and what they've done outside of Magic to the world at large than actual Magic players, you're going to be including them in a $150,000 event?
That's the thing. If this was like some sort of event that wasn't $150,000, I can understand. But the fact that, I believe
it has to be.
They took money away from the Pro Tours, right? And then made on the tournament.
No, they didn't take money away.
No,
they didn't. They didn't take money away. They just haven't changed it in 18 years.
Okay, well,
that's like working. Think about it, Ollie. What if you worked the same job for your entire adult life? You're like, all right, we did great. Well, but do I get a raise? Well, no, but you keep coming to work tomorrow.
You did great, yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. What the kicker is? Okay, so for this event, first place is $35,000.
So $5,000 less than a Pro Tour, mind you.
Yeah.
Which is $40,000.
Yep. Second place is $25,000.
Okay.
Third and fourth is $20,000. 5th through 8th. By the way, this is participation. Thank you.
You can literally show up, hoop your pants, leave the venue, and never come back, and you get $12,500.
It's pretty absurd that there will be people at this event that are just through 5th through 8th place that make more than Magic players actually grinding Grand Prix and Pro Tours.
Now, that
for the year.
Let me say, that being said, from Wizard's perspective, if you say this event is meant to draw eyeballs to it, it will without a doubt succeed. And it's clear this is the only reason you're putting this event together. Most other games in esports, which is Magic is trying really hard to, well, they're trying to bust into.
Yeah.
They have these outrageous purses for tournaments. And I'm not even talking, let's just talk other card games. I'm not even talking something like Dota or League of Legends, right? Where you're really you're making a living. A lot of people are making a living playing these.
Yeah, absolutely.
But even just compared to like Hearthstone or even like Gwent, which is a game a lot of people probably haven't heard of, but has had tournaments where they regularly give out more prize money than Pro Tours to the top finishers anyway.
Yeah.
And you have a tournament that you have to put this gigantic number on to draw eyeballs, and you have to invite Amaz, Kibler, Sifka and Dave Williams, because these are people through the gaming community that people know. It doesn't matter. All that matters is they know how to play Magic. They don't have to be good at it. Some of them are. Obviously, 2 of them have won a Pro Tour, one of them won Grand Prix. Amaz is serviceable, but point being, these are not people that are going out every weekend and grinding. And I'm not just talking about people low-level grinding. I'm talking about, you named a bunch of people. And those you named mostly Americans. Americans have it the easiest of everyone. We have tons of events in the United States. Imagine Europeans and people from like Asia Pacific region. They travel significantly more to play Magic because that's their only choice. If you live in Japan, you can get 4 events a year. Then you have to leave for the rest of them. It's insane.
Yep.
And we have this group of people that they've not done. First of all, the people that are in this event have not done anything wrong. So I don't want it to seem like I'm down talking them, because good for them. They have certainly worked hard. All of these people,
I agree.
All of these people have busted their ass to make sure
in life.
To build their brand individually.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I'm not. Go ahead.
Honestly, no, I agree with that. Like, I mean, no harm or dishonor to whoever who's like this. I have
no problem with the human being. Yeah, I have no problems with the human beings that are being invited to this.
That are invited.
Exactly.
Yes, I have a problem with Wizards not treating Magic players that have grinded forever fairly. Like,
because that's not, that's not what this is about.
It's not, but that's like, it sucks. It's like people like more and more. Luckily, I realized this a long time ago that you can't make a living chasing the Pro Tour or being on the Pro Tour. Like, I played the highest level of play, played in multiple Pro Tours. I've over like 50, I don't know, like I think 60 something, 70 something pro points. Anyways, but I've played my fair share of Pro Tours, and then I realized that, hey, you're not gonna make money playing Magic if you're just literally traveling every weekend, paying for hotel, flight, whatever it costs, and trying to make money. Like, you better be single and like
and not care about anything else.
Yeah, and want to live off like peanuts and like whatever. And that sucks. Like, being the top 1%, like, and then not getting paid for being like so good. It kind of hurts. And then like we understand, maybe Wizards always does this, whatever. Like, Wizards is like, we all know Wizards is paying below everybody else. But then you come out with this tournament that is for 8 people, is $125,000, and you invite 4 people that have played Magic but like aren't in the scene really, don't produce content for it, don't like tweet about it every day, or what, like aren't known 100% for Magic.
When is the last time they've talked about Magic publicly?
Right, and that's just like, what? Like, it's a kick in the face for people trying to grind. And trying to make a living off this. It's like, well, I might as well go play Hearthstone, because if I play Hearthstone, I can qualify for basically a tournament as a Pro Tour. Like, why not play Magic? You're basically saying, hey, if you want to enter the Pro Tour or the highest level of play, literally Pro Tour or this $125,000 tournament, go play Hearthstone.
Yep.
Be in the top 10, 20 viewers, whatever. Just keep playing it, do well, play their tournaments, play their cash prizes, whatever, stream it. And then eventually we'll invite you to our Pro Tours for free as a guest, and we'll invite you to 8-man tournaments that pay, last place pays more than an SCG Invitational first place. Like, yeah. That's like, it's like being in a family. Your younger brother, and older brother keeps getting all these things over and over again, and you're like, hey mom, can I get some? Or hey mom and dad, can I get some, like a toy too? They're like, yeah, eventually. Like, hold off, wait, easy. Like,
or worse, it's like, well, we don't have any money right now. Well, that's because you just bought Johnny this brand new Mercedes.
Right, and then next week they buy Johnny, buy him a $10,000 computer, a new house, and then you're like, can I have like a?
We'll take you. Well, yeah, we'll take you out to a nice lunch. We'll take you out to a nice lunch.
We'll take you out to Panera Bread. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for Panera Bread, Mom and Dad.
To be fair, I do
guess.
like Panera Bread.
I do.
But I don't. I
Worth a house,
like it.
a car,
I like it
or...
less when my brother gets taken to Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
Oh, yeah, or Fogood. Any of those. It's just, it sucks, man. Like, I was upset, and not because I wasn't invited. Like, I don't expect to be invited to these. Like, 0% chance. But seeing other people that like I know are trying.
Well, what about people that have made the contributions in Magic? Why not invite Saffron Olive?
Yeah.
Invite. I don't even know. I could name anybody.
Professor.
Sure. And I mean, I guess like anyone
point,
who matters, anyone who makes, who literally like their life is around Magic. You're like, you know what? This is your reward for doing that.
Yeah, I agree. Like this, I would have looked at people that aren't like necessarily U.S. players because like I said earlier, like Andre Mangucci would have been, I think, a fantastic person to invite. Like, people that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, only 3 of these people. Well, four. Yeah, half of these people are American.
Right. I mean, still, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like people that contribute to Magic, people that like live and breathe Magic. Basically, it's just like it's basically a slap to the face.
It is,
and
this is kind of the thing I want to circle back to. This tournament is only for Twitch views. It means
for sure.
Nothing. They had to put this dollar amount on it to attract eyeballs. They had to put these people there to attract eyeballs. They don't care where this money is, where it is going. That is irrelevant.
No.
The point of this tournament is to have people watch it, and it will succeed in that regard.
It will, but the thing is, like, okay, we get the effect of Twitch players or Hearthstone players switching to Magic. It's like, hey, I know these Hearthstone players. They're invited to this tournament for playing Hearthstone. I'll just keep playing Hearthstone and maybe get invited to Magic. Like, I'm not sure. Like, you are playing with a double-edged sword. You are literally playing with a sword that's double-edged. Like, I'm not sure if you're going to gain or lose or stay the same. Like, you make a ton of views because you're attracting Hearthstone and Magic viewers, but like maybe now a Magic player would be like, okay, well, time for me to hang up my Magic cape, wizard cape and hat and play Hearthstone, whatever. And I feel like you will do that more. Like, you will convert Magic players, competitive Magic players at least, to Hearthstone, rather than convert Hearthstone players to Magic. Does that make sense? Especially after this draft. Like, after this draft, like, people are used to, in Hearthstone, having mana every turn. It's steady. It's
I don't want to get into the Magic versus Hearthstone comparisons, but
sure, but you're opening pack with multiple lands. Like, I understand the whole...
Yeah, from a Magic perspective, this event's going to be awful.
It's going to be cool cracking the packs, but like, as far as gameplay,
hopefully,
yeah. No, it'll be cool. It'll be nice. It'll be nice to see.
Yes.
What's cracked?
Yeah, sure. But I mean, like, yeah, the draft. Like, when you open the packs, but like this draft's gonna be real long because it's Rochester, it's like double Rochester. I don't know. It's really frustrating to see these resources become available for people that are putting time and effort to grow the game, and to see it go to people that are not doing that have built their own brand. Again, I have no problem with the human beings that are involved. They've all earned their spot in something, but I'm frustrated that it came from Wizards and they said, you know what? We care more about the eyeballs than making impact in the community that we've built.
Right. I just want to read this. I made a tweet. And I want to read the professor's reply to me because I think it's hilarious. I said, okay, so I've played Magic. I've played and created content for Magic for over 10 years of my life. I've competed in the highest levels of the game, also brewing some of the most fun decks. Not once have I personally received a preview card. That's okay. Not a big deal. However, creating a 150k tournament and inviting a handful of players that play little Magic sucks. You're basically telling us to go play Hearthstone because it has more rewards, and you also get invited to Pro Tours and $150,000 tournaments. That's really crappy. The professor replied to me saying, yes, but have you considered playing Hearthstone instead? I just think that's hilarious because, like, it's literally like I feel that's basically this is what like run with me after seeing this tournament. Like, what am I doing? Like, maybe I should switch. Finish to start streaming mono Hearthstone. Like,
maybe I don't know. It's disheartening.
Yeah,
just
it is exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right. I think we should just move on before we get too sad.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. All right. we're gonna wrap this segment up. We're gonna try to re-center ourselves, and we're gonna take a quick break, and when we return, we're gonna talk some magic story, Chronicles of Bolas, the first lesson.
We've recentered ourselves. We've calmed ourselves. We now know the way. Kind of.
Tell us. Why don't you tell us the way? Come, young child of the Atarka clan. Gather round the campfire.
Did you say clown or clan?
Clan.
Either or.
Regale us the tale.
Okay. So, we are left with the group traveling away from their campsite going to Ugin's grave. They notice that an Atarka broodling is following them. We also learn that the Ojutai dragons are purging human history by burning books, whatever to basically destroy shamans and knowledge of the past. As they're traveling down these little icy woods and mountains, they run into an injured man that has a message. He can't tell as much because he's injured, so Yasova uses her shaman magic and decides to heal him so she can get some information out of him. As she's doing this, after she heals him, she doesn't heal him all the way because if he's enemy, she wants to kill him afterwards. But before she can ask him questions, an Ojutai bleeding shows up. He's like, "Yo, give me that damaged man. I will turn him to ice. You've been sentenced to death for blah blah blah." Everyone thinks that the Yasova grandmother is going to be like, "Okay, back up. Let the Ojutai broodling kill the man." But she signals a hand gesture to fight the dragon. So they start fighting. It's a bloody fight. They're kind of losing. Magic is used. Arrows are used. But then out of nowhere, the Atarka broodling flies out of nowhere and tackles the Ojutai broodling because it's in the Atarka territory and it shouldn't be. And then they begin to fight. So then the group takes their chance from there and starts walking away. Now, the man can start telling a story. He tells about Bolas' story. Bolas and Ugin are traveling to all the dragons, basically speaking to them and seeing what's going on. They meet Chromium, and Chromium notices that each have one name. And basically he's like, "Okay, so you both have one name, you both came from one egg, and you're both half the size, so it makes sense. Like you plus you equals one of me. You guys are like basically whelps." They notice that Chromium is actually smart. He's gazing into the river, observing life and everything, and he's one of the wisest ones. So then they decide to go learn to maybe hunt from their sister Palladia Morris. She's very aggressive. She's like, "Nope, this is my hunting territory. You can't hunt here." She's like eating the carcass. She's like, "Well, I guess you guys are like babies and you're kind of pathetic. You probably can't hunt your own food here." So she like burns the carcass and throws it to him. Let them eat it. And Bolas this whole time is like upset. He's like, he basically feels like he's being belittled. He's like, "We can hunt. We need to learn how to hunt. We need to know how to do this on our own." So eventually, Ugin and Bolas both learn how to hunt together, and then get like the juiciest meat. No problem now. As they're doing this, Asmati, the Victus Asmati, he basically just the whole time they're flying around, he's chasing them away from his territory. Him and his like broodlings are chasing them away. they never really talk to each other, but they just realize that, okay, this is his territory. We'll back off. Then they finally meet Arcadus Sabbath. Arcadus Sabbath has gathered basically humans in his camp. They worship him. They kind of not necessarily worship him. They look up to him. He teaches them. They are also like they're performing magic. It's basically like the like Temur Jeskai combined. Ugin decides to go learn from a human. He's learning learning about planes, and he's learning how to make spheres where he can see into other planes. Nicol Bolas is like, "What are you doing with these humans? Like, stop! We need to kill them because they killed our sister. We should not befriend them. They are meaningless creatures." So Ugin is learning his mystic ways, basically. Bolas, it doesn't say this, but basically Bolas learns how to mind control humans because out of nowhere, two brothers that have basically a business together. They've been working for 10 years. One of them kills the other one, and he's like, I don't know why I did that. I don't remember doing it. I would never do that to my brother, but he did do it, and this is what basically hints us to Bolas doing it because he smirks, and basically learned that he knows how to use Slave of Bolas.
I'm gonna pause you.
Yeah,
you went into this week's story.
I don't know where.
In the very beginning, when you said that they fought the dragon, they don't do that until the story that came out yesterday.
I said they killed him. I said a Tarka Bleeding fights.
I don't think they do.
Are you sure?
Well, I read it while you were doing that. Like, looked at the part.
Oh my god! I'll check.
Did you read the story from yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I was writing the story, I was made sure just to look at the number 2 story.
Because so they come across the guy. They see the dragon kind of flying in the distance. They heal the guy up enough, and then he tells them the story.
God damn it.
Remember, we talked about this last week? To wait until after we do it, so this doesn't happen?
I mean, honestly, I think we should go back to the old way. I'll just say that after this podcast, but...
Well,
right,
I mean, that doesn't... Okay.
Okay, so... Alright. But everything else was basically right?
Well, I mean, all of that... Well, when you started telling the story of the past of Ugin and Bolas, yeah.
Okay. Alright, 47...
I mean, I hated to stop you, but I was just like, because I haven't read the story from yesterday purposely, so I didn't get it confused. And then I was like, I don't think that happened. And then I just went and looked at it, and I was like, yep, that's the very beginning. I mean, I'm sorry, but
no, you should be sorry. Like that, it's my fault. All right, 35 seconds.
Okay, you can start again.
All right, we've come back. We've gathered our senses. We've purged out the bad thoughts. We are trying to find the way, the Jeskai way, or the Temur.
You must not speak.
Oh, sorry.
You must not speak that word. The Ojutai way.
I'm picturing you doing like little poses.
I am doing it right now. I have my hands clasped together. My eyes are closed.
Okay. Oh, this is great. Okay.
It's exactly like Dragon Lord Ojutai perched on his.
Oh man, are you like you have your arms crossed and your wings spread?
Well, my arms aren't crossed. They're
like prayer.
Yes,
almost.
I'm in prayer. My wings are spread.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Emotionally.
All right. Okay. You keep doing that.
You go on with the story. I'll do this.
Okay, so we left off with the group. Basically, they're kind of like Teamer group, but they're not called
You
Teamer.
must not.
Oh, you're right. You're right. This group is traveling.
Tarka clan.
The Atarka clan, which is the quote unquote Atarka clan is
Not
traveling.
quote unquote, just a Tarka.
Okay, the Atarka clan is traveling through the woods, mountains, whatever. Basically, going to Ugin's burial site because of the vision. As they're going, Yasova believes that an Atarka broodling is following them, but they're not 100% sure, but they think so. As they're walking, Yasova tells them how, like, you know, the Ojutai and other dragons are purging human history out of the world so that the humans don't remember that they used to rule the dragons. Like, they're basically, like, not rule the dragons, but basically just don't remember that humans used to be stronger, and now so that the newborns will always know that they fed dragons and then dragons were always the masters. So they're destroying all human history. As they're walking, they run into an injured person with a message. He tells them that he's also seen a vision, and he needs to tell them what it is. But he can't really speak anymore. He's super injured. They're not sure whether to trust him or not. But Yasova decides to heal him up a little bit. Not fully away, like, you know, gave him a regular potion, not a super, hyper, or max, just like a regular potion, so that if he decides to turn on them, you know, they can fight him off and kill him.
Mm-hmm.
As actually she heals him up, she's like, okay, you healed up, you know, talk or basically you'll die. Like tell me what your vision is or what you saw, or what's going on. He initially tells them that this is a story about, like, you know,
all about how his brood got twisted upside down. Yeah,
how Ugin got betrayed by his brother. So in the story, the consensus, the basics is like Ugin and Bolas.
Oh my gosh, hold on. I really wanted to keep. Sorry, I did that more in my head, and I realized that Bel Air rhymed with Tarkir in a certain way. Anyway, continue. Okay, sorry.
Go.
No. It's the moment's passed.
Okay. All right. So Ugin and Bolas are flying together, and they're meeting their other siblings. They first come across Chromium. He's like gazing into the lake. He's like observing the sea creatures. And he notices them. He's like, "What are you guys doing here? Like, what do you want?" And also, like, why? He's like, "What's your names?" He's like, "Wait, don't tell me." And Bolas like, "What? Are you gonna guess?" And Chromium's like, "Nah, bro. Dragons know everything. We knew our names. I want to know yours." He like closes his eyes, opens them again. I imagine he's using some sort of mind reading technique that the dragons don't know about. The Bolas and Ugin. But anyways, he's able to. He's like, okay, so why do you each have one name? Then he's like, oh, the pieces kind of come together. He's like, okay, you both have one name each. You both came out of the same egg. You're twins.
You're half dragons.
You're half. Yes. So then he's like, okay, well, can you teach us? Like, you know, we're hungry. And he's like, all you think about is hunting. Blah blah blah. You guys, there's more to hunting in this world than there's more things in this world than hunting. If you want to go hunt, go talk to your sister. So they fly across the lands to where Palladia Morris is. She's a sister, and she is super, super savage. She will not let anyone hunt her land. She's like, this is my ground. This is my food. Don't eat my food. Don't touch any of my animals. Then she sees how small they're. Like, okay, well, you guys probably can't eat. She basically mocks them and laughs at them. So she like burns one of the animals' carcass and tosses it towards Bolas. Bolas dodges. He's angry, but Ugin basically saves the day by sweet talking, like, "Yo, okay." He realizes that she's like twice their size, probably triple their strength, can easily kill them. So he's just like, "Okay, we need to leave her alone. Thank you for everything." Blah blah blah. But eventually, Bolas like, "Okay, we need to learn how to hunt together because they can't kill their own food, or the big juicy ones." So eventually, they learn how to hunt together. They're good partners. They can kill whatever they want. And as they're doing this, Victus Asmadi,
yep,
he's established his own like domain. It's a huge domain that he doesn't need it all, but he wants it all. And obviously, he could share with Nicol Bolas, and Ugin doesn't want to. they keep chasing both the brothers out. So eventually they leave his domain and just don't bother him or even talk to him. Eventually they reach Arceus Sabbath. He's basically established his own type of village with humans. The humans aren't like feeding him food as whatever to worship him. They basically not necessarily equals, but they're teaching each other. Like there's shamans there that do magic. There's one actually starts teaching Ugin how to conjure these spheres that let them see into other planes. So she explained to Ugin that, hey, there's other worlds of existence. Ugin asks if he can travel to them, and she says no. So at this point, I don't think they can travel, obviously. So while Ugin is learning the mystic ways, it's Bolas hates humans. He's like, you know what? The humans killed our sister. Why are you befriending them? We should be killing them. We should be seeking our vengeance. Like, what are you doing? Ugin kind of ignores him and learns the mystic ways. And then all of a sudden, we see two brothers who have put aside their differences in the past and been open up their own business, working together. Like they seem like to be
on good,
previously
on good terms.
On good terms, yeah. Basically, one does the whole Jesus thing, the whole Bible thing. Cain kills his brother, so one kills the other one, and doesn't remember why he would do it or how he did it. He's basically what I assume has been mind controlled by Bolas. Bolas has learned how to mind control humans because they're fragile, etc., etc. But no one knows this because Bolas hasn't explained this to anybody or said anything about it. I'm just guessing that it is mind control. And then from there,
seems likely.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, and then from there, that's where we stop.
So, I want to go to a specific passage, which is interesting. So, obviously, in the retelling of this story, it's told from a couple of different perspectives. First from Bolas, then from Ugin.
Yes.
This one's from Ugin. Last week's was from Nickel.
Oh yeah, guys. Yeah, you guys. If you guys really want to, I briefly explained this, but the story goes into it's literally just Ugin talking and Bolas talking. It's very hard to summarize that, but if you really want to like know more and feel what each other thinks, you definitely need to read the story. It's very hard to summarize these because it's not actions that are happening; it's literally dialogue.
Yeah,
and it's hard to summarize dialogue without literally quoting the text.
Yeah,
but
which I'm not. I'm not even going to try to do it without quoting it. So I'm just going to quote it. All right.
Yeah.
So we see in this scene, we see Arcades land on something in the village, and he's obviously huge. And the two twin dragons, smaller dragons, are sitting there after they've essentially been stopped being attacked by the humans. And this is when they first meet Arcades. Before Nickel could speak, I said, and again, Nickel, because that is Nicol Bolas' name at this point, is Nickel. Before Nickel could speak, I said, "Forgive us, brother. We thought the creatures were accustomed to dragons. It is in the nature of dragons to know their own. You are the twins, Nickel and Ugin. I am Nicol Bolas," says Nickel. "You are?" I asked. Again, this is Ugin speaking. "When did that happen? I have two names. All proper dragons have two names." "Ugin is fine for me," I said, dismissing this as another of Nickel's quicksilver mood changes. I politely turned back to our older brother. "Brother Arcades, why the humans attack as we approach?" This is important because this is the first time that Nicol Bolas is referred to as Nicol Bolas. Simply deciding that is his name.
Yes.
However,
basically,
however, if you go back to last week, there was an error where before Nicol Bolas had decided to be Nicol Bolas, in the story, they actually, instead of saying said Nickel or from Nickel, they actually say Bolas, which I thought was weird. And this is when they're describing the death of Marivia Sol, their other sister. Before he launches, He halts, feeling the lack of his twin's presence, and turns back. Ugin hasn't moved. He's still staring dreamily at the landscape. "You fool," says Bolas. "We have to keep up with the others. Warn them about the hunters. Learn how to find our revenge. Hurry." Ugin turns a calm gaze towards Nickel. His eyes are like crystals with depths that give way to mysteries. It literally says Bolas.
Yeah.
If you're reading the story, you don't know who Bolas is. There's no Bolas. Bolas doesn't exist yet. So that was frustrating when I was like, because I went back, because after I read this story, I was like, wait a second. I was like, didn't it say Bolas in the last story? And I went back and Control F'd Bolas, and sure enough, there it was.
Also, at the end of this, real quick, at the end of the story, we go back to the group, and basically, an Notified Dragon has caught the group, and he says, Taijin, by the command of the great teacher, you are accused of the crimes of sacrilege and sentenced to die by ice. It will be my pleasure and honor to kill you. That's where it ends.
We know that from this, Ugin is the first dragon to learn about multiple planes. Which is really the part that I've found the most interesting. Ugin is.
Yes.
Is that not what I said?
Bolas doesn't care. Yeah, I think so. You said it.
Okay.
You processed it wrong.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting how they describe it, because again, it's kind of told in the first person, and Ugin is learning this from the shaman called Teju Kai that is in Arcady Seva's camp.
Yeah.
And she literally describes, she says she called each one a plane, although I did not know what she meant by the word at the time. When I asked if the globes were a thought experiment or if they really existed, she said it did not matter, because no physical being could cross between planes. But I didn't care about that. The way the radiant globes interlocked and moved in and around each other fascinated me as much as the wisdom she uttered in her whispery rasp of a voice. So, I'm now intrigued about this Teju Kai character. I don't know if we're ever going to come back, but it seems like this is pretty important. If there's just this regular person that knows about planes, that's a big deal.
Bolas doesn't know that he can travel, or thinks they can't travel to the other planes.
Who?
This person.
No.
Says because
Yeah, it says that you can't. But then
Yeah,
but who showed her that? It has to be a planeswalker, right? She has to have come across some sort of planeswalker.
I guess I guess even if you conjure the globes, how do you know that?
And calling them planes.
Planes, yeah.
Which is a very specific word.
Oh no, you're right.
So that's very interesting to me. Like, this isn't even, because clearly there's a story prior to this that we probably won't get, because it's not going to have to do with Bolas and Ugin, about who taught this person about planes. A planeswalker, I would imagine.
We'll go back to it. Yeah, we have learned that Ugin is he wants to learn. He's kind of like Chromium, where he wants to observe, learn.
Yeah, very much.
Absorb, basically. And Bolas is revenge, and he's very. You sense the red mana in him already, how fast he's able to snap, how emotions he's wishy-washy, how he gets flushed with anger very quickly, and how he doesn't really necessarily think before he acts. Where Ugin is almost the opposite. So
I think it's really interesting how through these two stories, they've gone out of their way to paint Ugin as completely innocent in his pursuit for knowledge. And Bolas, on the other hand, is pretty similar to how we see him in present time, right? Just a younger version. But you can see where his anger,
Well, no, he's not as reckless. He seems really, really reckless right now. Almost reckless, might kill himself.
Yes, extremely reckless. But you can also see his anger, his very cunning focus. You basically see level 1 tendencies for everything.
Yeah, I mean, literally loading mind control right away. It's kind of crazy.
And Ugin, I think you and I are probably more out on Ugin being a good guy, I'll put that in air quotes, than just about anybody else.
Well, keep in mind, this story is told from Ugin's perspective.
That's true. That's true.
So he like the visions they're seeing and everything they're learning. I mean, like maybe like Ugin could be portraying himself as like maybe is like
that is the point.
Like,
yeah, I mean, honestly, and Ugin, that's something that's right up Ugin's alley, right?
What's up?
To portray himself as a benevolent character.
Yeah. I mean, this is how I see it so far. Like he doesn't want to hurt humans. He's trying to learn, and he's portraying both as like the arrogant, whatever one. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some truth to this. 100%.
Yeah, there's the story. The details might not be true, but the overarching story is. Because as we've said previously, as I said this a lot during Ixalan's story, but memory is an unreliable narrator. And
right. And also the best lie is hidden in a bulk of truth.
Exactly. Yeah, well, like 90% of this is true, and then the 10% of this is just a bold-faced lie. And we won't know what what that is because of the way specifically, and that's why I really love. Like, I mean, I think both of these stories have been great.
They have, yeah. I'm super. Yes, these stories have been well down area. I've been honed in, focused on every word. I love just I want to learn about Bolas and Ugin, because they're both amazing characters. That I love both of them.
I think this story is just written very cleverly. Like we talked last week about how it's kind of written in like a folklore type way, where it's like it's like almost like a history lesson. This one still has some of that, but it's less so. Where this is more told from Ugin's perspective as things he's witnessing from an early age, but it's still like he's telling a story rather than we're not seeing, because this is a story being told by a specific character, which is notable because it's not like we are the viewer and there's a non-character narrator that's just telling us what is happening.
Yeah, it's crazy too because like they both like you can tell that they love each other and they care about each other.
Yeah.
Even if Bolas is like aggressive and whatever and snappy, you can tell like, they literally defend each other multiple times or try to defend each other. Like they are born together, they want to be together, and it's like
they're twinsies. Yeah.
I'm just waiting to see how this evolves, because we all know that Bolas ended up killing Ugin.
Yeah.
So
didn't work out, but he killed him in one timeline at least.
Right, exactly. So I want to see like what happened. What caused the Dragon War?
This story gets up to that point, right?
I agree. I think
it has to.
I think it tells about the Dragon. I think it has to tell us about the Dragon War too.
Yeah,
honestly.
I imagine that's probably coming pretty close. I think there's 8 episodes. I'm just going to go back and double check. I'm pretty sure it's 8.
There's 8.
Yeah. Okay.
3.
I think
we're not halfway done.
I think the pacing is good. And it's I think we're moving right along. And honestly, I really like the kind of the actual story that's going on rather than the retelling with Yasova Dragonclaw and her Ken, because it's like obviously that's not like the bulk of the story. Like the bulk of the story is the sub story that's being told to them. But I like that it's being told in that way because it is more folklore-y. I don't know. It's really interesting.
I agree. I am way more focused on the sub-story, the quote-unquote sub-story.
Yeah, I think everyone is, and I think that's the point.
Yeah, but their story also is getting a little more interesting.
Yeah.
As far as Yasova, but it's like a 6 for me as far as interesting. Only a 6 because this other story is just so much better. Like, so much better, and I care about it more. Like I just personally care about this.
Well, then we know this leads to something incredibly important. So the details are interesting because we care about the result.
Absolutely.
All right. Ollie, anything else on Magic Story this week?
No, it's great. I'm ready for more.
Great. Me too. Okay, so we are going to take a quick break, and when we return, the finale. Episodes 8, 9, and 10 of Westworld Season 2. So we're in episode 8 when we last left off at episode 47 of Westworld. I'm going to try to go through each of the episodes. Last time in episode 47, I kind of combined them all and then told about the different groups and where they were. By the nature of these stories, I'm going to go by episode and kind of just see where we are as a whole. I'm going to try to go quick and tell as much as I can, but man, so much happened.
Okay, so are we just going to go ahead and give the spoiler warning now?
Oh, this is all, yes. Spoiler warning. Ready? You're going to do the noise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning.
You have been warned. You are now entering spoiler territory.
Okay. We're officially in spoilers for the entirety of this section. Okay. Episode 8. So we begin with Atecha. Akecha? Oh, man, I even practiced it before. Hold on.
His name's really hard to say, but yes.
I think it's Acheta. We begin with Acheta, who finds the injured man in black and takes him back to the Ghost Nation camp. In the camp, as well, he's grabbed Maeve's daughter and has no intention of hurting her, and in fact is actually telling Maeve's daughter the story of what has brought them to this point, which for episode 8 is the vast majority of the episode. So we start with Acheta's story. He initially was a peaceful villager host.
Who was deeply in love. And as most hosts are at some point, is reprogrammed to fit the narrative that the Westworld team is trying to put together. And he's reprogrammed as a ruthless leader of the new tribe Ghost Nation, which of course is what we've seen from season 1 all the way until now. And we've kind of made to believe that they are a kind of ruthless Indian tribe or native tribe. Acheka is one of the first hosts to gain sentience, and he does this kind of by a number of ways. And it's obviously we don't know exactly where this ends up, along with Maeve and Dolores, who have had kind of their own path to a fuller understanding of who they are and what they are. But he does this by being actually the first one to discover the maze symbol. And it's not exactly a maze. He's kind of the one that makes it into a maze and starts posting it everywhere. And as hosts die, he actually carves it into the top of their scalp. And of course, puts it back on, and then they go back in and are repaired. He does that. He interacts with Logan Delos when William / the Man in Black was young, after he got sent to on his way when he was naked on a horse. Talks to him about the outside world, that this world is not real, that this is just a narrative that they're living, and they're just here for the people, the humans. And of course, meets with Ford as he has frozen a lot of other Ghost Nations. They're fighting a bear, scalps them just to find the maze symbol that Acheta has put onto their scalp. Then he realizes he has to go to the Mesa because he knows he's a host at this point and believes, well, doesn't know what a host is, but knows that there's something else going on. And goes, and we find out he's actually been alive in this form since he's been reprogrammed for almost 10 years. Pretends to be dead. They don't reprogram him. He gets up and actually starts walking around the Mesa and finds his lost love, realizing that she is essentially a robot, like all of them are, in some degree. Once he realizes this, he goes back out into Westworld with all of the knowledge, not having his memory wiped, and continues on from there. At the end of the story, Emily, who is Men in Black's daughter, comes and takes the Man in Black from the Ghost Nation camp, lets Acheta know that he's going to suffer a lot more with Emily than with them, which ultimately kind of ends up to be true. We also learned that all of these messages are being relayed to Maeve
through her daughter, who has been told this story the entire episode, because obviously Maeve is able to psychically communicate with all of the other hosts. And that's essentially where episode 8 ends. Moving on to episode 9. This episode has a larger focus on the Man in Black and his family, specifically the night that Juliet, his wife, commits suicide. We learn that Ford has a data card on the Man in Black like he does on all guests. And when Juliet finds this, it's actually what leads her to kill herself as she identifies what William has done previously in the park as a younger man and up until this point. In real time, Emily, his daughter, nurses the Man in Black back to health only to have him kill her, thinking she is a Ford-led host.
Yes, because she says that she's read his card.
And he's like, the only one that knows about my card is Ford. But he was the one that tried to hide it in a book. Juliet found it, put it into I don't even know what, I'm blanking on the word.
A ballerina jewelry
box, which is where Emily finds it. And of course, has the data card in her hand as she's gunned down by her own father. Now,
insane.
This is really important because this, as far as I know, this is the first time a human has killed another human on this show. And it's really notable because it's the Man in Black killing his own daughter, believing she's a host.
Yeah.
Once he realizes this, that he did just in fact kill his daughter, he contemplates killing himself, but instead ends up digging into his arm, questioning his own reality, as it's been said multiple times on the show, to find out if he's a host. Elsewhere, Charlotte Hale reprograms Clementine to essentially be a little host bomb, as she realizes that she can control other hosts to basically make them go crazy. Maeve, who is on the operating table from her damage in a previous episode, is getting ready to get shut down when Ford, through Bernard, is able to psychically send her a message that basically is like, don't let go. You're more important.
Yeah.
Bernard, who's obviously there near Maeve, tells Elsie about the Forge, which is where you're able to access all of the guest memories that have been scooped up over the course of the many generations at the park. Then, as they go out to get weapons for the coming battle, Bernard leaves Elsie in the middle of Westworld for her safety because he's concerned that Ford, who wants Bernard to kill Elsie, is going to overwrite him and make him do it, even though he supposedly deletes Ford from his own consciousness. And then, of course, at the end, Dolores' group meets Ghost Nation and their group as a bunch of other hosts and just absolutely slaughters them because Ghost Nation tries to stop them from getting to the Forge, saying, we need to go to the Valley Beyond. And Dolores is like, I don't care, you're all dead. So after that, Teddy, realizing where he has reached from where he was as far as his change that was spurned on by Dolores, ends up shooting himself in the head after saying to Dolores, I can't protect you anymore. Dolores thinks that he's going to kill her. He kills himself. This is the part, obviously, where we know where Teddy dies because, as I pointed out multiple times, Teddy has been seen through the flash forwards in previous episodes. Okay. Then we move on to episode 10, and this was the season finale and a doozy. We start with Maeve, who is fixed by the hosts right before she's getting ready to get sliced up into itty-bitty pieces, as she psychically communicates with them to fix her back up, leaves the Mesa, meets her team, and heads to the Valley Beyond. In the meantime, when she catches up with them, they're stopped by Delos security forces, and of all people, Lee Sizemore sacrifices himself, finally completing the speech that he wrote for Hector and delivering it before he is riddled with bullets, marking the second time that a human has killed another human. Dolores goes into a field, finds the Man in Black digging into his arm, questioning his own reality, as she points out. He's like, she's like, I don't want you to die. Why don't you come help me? Our goals align for now until they don't. They ride towards the forge. Bernard is there. This is the first time that Bernard meets the Man in Black, who questions who the hell this guy is. Of course, the Man in Black turns on Dolores, shooting 4 rounds into her. But of course, her pain tolerance is set to 100. So she just kind of keeps going on Terminator style. And then as he goes to fire the 5th one, the slug that Teddy shot himself in the head with, Dolores put into the Man in Black's gun in case he tried this. And of course, it literally explodes in his hand, blows some of his fingers off, and he is in very bad shape. Dolores and Bernard go into the forge again, where the guest data is accessed. It's held in the memory of Peter Abernathy, which Dolores has in her possession. They go in and actually access the forge as hosts because they can just link up their consciousness to it. They meet the progenitor or the generator of the forge, which is taken on the form of Logan Delos, who is obviously James Delos' son. He reveals that the hosts can go into what I'm calling host world, what the hosts have been calling the door, which is a digital space for host consciousness only. It's not accessible by humans. Yep. We also learn a lot more about what programming is for people, because of course they have all of the guest information, all the guest data compared to programming for a host, and learn that humans are actually significantly simpler than hosts to program. Dolores, after learning all this from Forge Logan, says, no, I want to destroy everything. Everything must go. No, nothing for human data, nothing for host data. This isn't the real world. You're selling them another lie. Bernard disagrees, says that if they believe it, they believe it, and realizes realizes the only way he can stop Dolores is to shoot her, which he does in the head. She dies. He leaves her in the middle of the forge as it's flooding. Back in the main Westworld park, all of the hosts, Ghost Nation, Maeve crew included, head to the door / host world, which leads to the Valley Beyond. The Valley Beyond being the place we found all of the dead hosts as the season began. Of course, before most of them get there, the Devil's response team shows up with Clementine, who leads all of the hosts into a murder rage as they start murdering themselves. A lot of the hosts make it into the Valley Beyond, but Maeve's team fights and dies along with a lot of others. Now, as they go into the door / the Valley Beyond / host world, their bodies are falling off a cliff into a crumpled heap at the bottom while their consciousness moves on into host world.
Yeah.
Bernard exits the forge during this time, meets Elsie and Charlotte, who go to the Mesa. Elsie leaves. Bernard goes to confront Charlotte. Charlotte is frustrated because Elsie has confronted her about the meaning of Westworld. And Charlotte, who is frustrated by Elsie's unflexible morality, kills her, which I called, which really pisses Bernard off. Bernard makes, before he does this, he goes and asks for Ford's help, hoping that he did not delete all of Ford, and sure enough, Ford shows up in his consciousness and helps him make a host body, bones and all, in the image of Charlotte Hale, and puts Dolores' brain, which he snatched out of her head after he popped it off, puts it into the new Charlotte body, who kills the real Charlotte Hale. And of course, we learn this in present day as it's revealed that Charlotte is in fact Dolores, and she kills all the rest of the Devil's response team, including Strand, who was a big jerk and was probably going to kill everybody else. She leaves the forge and is stopped by Stubbs, who realizes that she is a host, and maybe he is too. It's kind of unsure. But leaves and is the first host to make it off of Westworld into the mainland, which she goes into Bernard's home, where Ford has built a host-making machine where she remakes her original Dolores body as well as Bernard's body, along with a small handful of host consciousness that she took with her. In the final post-credits scene, we see the Man in Black make his way into the Forge elevator, goes down, opens it up, and sees none other than Emily in a time and place that doesn't exactly look like it was anywhere we've seen recently. They go into where James Delos has been identifying or trying to have his fidelity tested, and Emily and the Man in Black have the same conversation, implying that at some point he himself becomes a host. I think I covered everything.
Yes. One thing that I want to say with when Bernard calls up Ford after he deletes him, he actually conjures up out of his own brain. I don't think it's actually Ford.
It's not Ford. And we do realize, yes. I tried to get everything. It's not actually Ford. It's really Bernard that is doing everything that he thinks Ford wants him to do, but it's really just him making all of the decisions himself.
Yes. Yep.
All right. What else do you want to talk about? I'll let you go from here since I just talked for like.
I think you know more than me. I have questions. What was Ford's plan for William? Like, we know Ford had a plan for William. He wanted him to play the game or do something, figure it out. Like what?
Okay, we don't know exactly Ford's plan for William, but I think I know what it was, and it is actually to serve as the human foil to Bernard, Maeve, and Dolores. They have to have some resistance. This is...
Oh, really? That's it?
Well, you got to remember, he was involved in trying to formulate this plan of putting the guest consciousness into a host.
Yeah.
He knew that if there was some grand plan, or he made it seem like there was, that the Man in Black would follow that as long as he possibly could, despite being told multiple times in the first season, the maze is not for you.
For you.
The door is not for you. It's for the hosts. He simply needs to be someone who is a formidable adversary, because how else would they fully learn humanity if not for William being there all along the way? Now, this is just my opinion.
Yeah, spitballing.
Just spitballing.
Yeah.
But Ford knew that he was in William's head the entire time, and he was literally, as we see as William gets crazier and crazier, thinking every single thing he interacts with is Ford, including his own human daughter, who he murders.
Which is crazy. Oh my god.
And one of the most shocking things of this entire season, in my opinion. Him killing his own daughter,
okay.
yeah. And there was a moment where I'm like, maybe she was a host, but she's not. Just that was her. We killed her for sure. At the very end, I'm pretty sure that is not in the present time. One, because Emily's there, and we know that she's dead, so that's a host of Emily. And we also know that hosts can identify fidelity in other hosts, as Dolores has been doing that for years with Bernard.
For Bernard, yeah.
So this is just probably much like the Forge that kind of took on the form of Logan, went through and tested James Delos. They realized that everything came from, or reached a certain conclusion, which was his last conversation with his son. And I think the moment that the Man in Black kills his own daughter is the same moment for him. So his fidelity test goes from that point. But again, I think in present time, the Man in Black is alive as a human, because we see him on the beach as the episode ends, before Charlotte / Dolores gets on the boat to leave Westworld.
I was so upset that when Maeve died, she was my favorite, and she just like died.
But I think because they say and see who you because they tell Felix and his white friend. I never remember the white guy's name. I remember Felix though. I like him. They tell Felix and his white and the white guy to see what of these hosts you can salvage, and they immediately look at the camera goes to Maeve, then Hector, then Armistice, then the Japanese Armistice, and they're like, okay, I bet these will be fun. We'll figure it out. So
yeah, hopefully they just don't make a monster conglomeration of all of them. But yeah.
And Felix and the white guy were willing to battle, like fight the humans, like get into a gunfight with them. So he is fully on Team Maeve. So I have no concerns about Felix at all. I think that Maeve is going to be just fine ultimately.
Hope so. She's sweet.
Yeah, Maeve is great. Maeve is
she was my favorite character.
Yeah, I think she was. God, it's so tough. She's certainly one of my favorite characters. I loved the Man in Black is so interesting to me. Just his whole arc. It's God, because like
he's
honestly really a tragic character.
Yeah. Well, his wife ends up not only killing herself because she finds the card, but he also tells her, like, she's like, I know the truth, I see through you. But he finally tells her the truth when she was like,
when she pretending to be asleep, essentially saying that.
Yeah, he tells her,
I'm the person that I am in the park, not here.
Yeah, and basically like, I don't love you. You're right about my feelings, is what he says. So
yeah, because you know who he loves? Dolores. He's been in love with Dolores since he first laid eyes on her. And I don't know. I mean, we're certainly not done with Dolores and the Man in Black's interactions as we go into the next season, assuming there will be a next season. That's the thing. If it ends now, I'm totally fine. But I also want to see more.
I think there'll be. I think there will be.
I think so too. I think so too.
Yeah, it's a huge hit.
All right. What are your other questions? I do want to point out actually that I called Elsie being offed by Charlotte. I said it was either going to be Charlotte or Strand.
Yeah,
and it was Charlotte.
I also think that's not really a question. Good job.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Thank you.
I think it's crazy that hosts have more free will than humans is basically what they came down to. So like hosts can change, there's more coding in them, but humans don't change. They're simple and they basically don't change. Yep. And I just think that's crazy because like we were talking about earlier how two episodes ago how people don't change, like how if you meet somebody and don't try to change them, they're not going to change. It's very hard to change someone, etc., etc. And it's kind of cool that they basically this movie or show came to the same conclusion or similar conclusion.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, it's largely true because we've seen the hosts evolve more than the people. Like not all of them, but a lot of them. And especially in episode 8, where we see Acheta go through, and that episode was phenomenal. I know me retelling it does not, of all these episodes, maybe doesn't give it as much credence if you have not watched it yet. But that episode was fantastic, watching his story from start to finish. And it's just great. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it really was. I liked his little love story.
Yeah. Glad that he was able to reunite, even if it was in, just his consciousness. We also see that Dolores, at the end, shoots the beacon of the host world to a different location, so I don't think anyone knows where it is but her. So they're kind of all safe in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. See, like I want season 3, but this series is like super confusing. I'm glad you're here.
Oh man, I love it. I love it
because
I want to go. I want to go. I want to go back and now. I want to go back and watch season 1 again, and then watch season 2 again because there's just so much more stuff that I'm going to catch.
Oh yeah, after yeah.
I definitely did not see the Charlotte got replaced by a host thing coming at all. I assumed, I was like, there's got to be someone else. I think I said that last time. I was like, there has to be someone else that's a host. And I didn't think it was going to be Charlotte. I thought she was going to be like the big bad guy going forward, and not the case. She will be, I mean, I guess, I don't know, who are the bad guys? Who are the good guys?
Yeah, that's the whole thing, I guess.
Are there good guys? Are there bad guys? Are there just
the humans?
Yeah.
Are the bad guys?
Are they? Yeah, probably.
That's kind of yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah, probably. They probably are. I mean, I certainly feel for the hosts more in general.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that's how they portrayed it and wanted it.
I think it's awesome that Dolores makes Bernard back, knowing that they will.
He's gonna try to stop her.
Exactly. Saying it's really had a lot of. It had like a Professor X Magneto feel to it, if I can use that analogy, where.
Or Ugin Bolas feel, yeah.
No, I think more Professor X Magneto, because they have a tremendous amount of respect for each other, and
but they're on opposite sides.
They're on opposite sides, and they don't want each other. They don't try to kill each other, but and obviously both Dolores and Bernard kill each other in this episode, ironically, but they know that it's just a body that can be rebuilt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great. The show's great. If you listen to this without ever watching the show, just go watch it.
Yeah, there's still a lot.
It's so good. So good.
Yeah.
Ollie, anything else? Anything else on Westworld? I know I chewed up most of this time.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Awesome then. All right. In that case, that's the show for today. So, I'm gonna drink some water, wet my whistle a little bit before I keep talking. When we return, question of the week. Since we're talking so much about Westworld, I want to keep that trend going.
Okay. All right.
And I feel like this is a pretty easy one. So I don't know how much discussion we're gonna have. But
so just like you think we'll agree?
Yeah. I don't even think it's close. So the question is not about Magic this week, but about HBO and their quality programming. And I want to know which HBO show is better, Westworld or Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, this is
easy. Very easy. I agree.
Yeah. So on 3, we'll say our
right,
vote.
yep.
1, 2, 3.
Westworld.
Game of Thrones.
What? Are you watching the same show that I'm watching?
Wait. I thought I heard you say
Westworld. Yeah, see, we said it at the same time, like you were supposed to the first time.
That's what you said?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Are you kidding?
All right. Oh my god. I can't agree with you. I can't agree with you.
I don't even think this is close.
Vote is,
I don't even think this is close.
All right, let me go.
Okay, no, go ahead.
My vote is Game of Thrones. It appeals to a large audience. It has dragons. It has great lore. Has all kinds of things going on. Like has magic. Has direwolves. Has time travel. Seers, walkers, ice, whatever. Zombie dragons.
It does have zombie dragons. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I think it's great. I love the show. I am always super excited to watch it. I can't wait for the next one. I didn't necessarily feel this way about Westworld. Like I could wait till all 3 came out and watch them all. With Game of Thrones, like I have to watch every single episode that comes out because it's so intriguing and it's like pulls me in, and everything about it is just I like more. It's also not as complex, which I think you probably value more.
Yes,
I have to assume
that will be a key to my argument.
Yeah. But Game of Thrones isn't without its complexities and its loopholes, and it's like, wow, this like they literally killed off so many characters, and like it blows you away. It's like, oh my god, they killed this person off. Oh my god, this is happening. Oh my, like it has twists, which is fantastic. But it does not like confuse you too much. Like obviously there's a Hodor moment, But I think that was awesome explained. So I don't know. My vote is clearly Game of Thrones for me, but that's my take.
I'm gonna vote for Westworld. This show is, and I want it compared to Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is so epic. It's this gigantic, enormous world, and there's so much going on that spans continents, and it's more about the overarching narrative for Game of Thrones and the world that's built in Westeros and Essos. But Westworld is a narrative and character-driven story. It's also an original story. So you literally have nothing to base it off of. You're a reader of the Song of Fire and Ice series.
Yeah.
So there were parts, especially in the first 4 or 5 seasons, that were difficult for you to be surprised by because you knew what was going to happen, right? So Westworld, there's every single thing is a mystery and a surprise. It always drags you in, and it rewards you for paying attention and rewatching. The acting in this show, in my opinion, is significantly better. And I love Game of Thrones. I think Game of Thrones is great. But I think Westworld is the best show on TV because you have characters that are not even humans that you're able to connect with, and going through and watching these stories develop is so rewarding and so interesting that I don't think there's a way for another show to spin the tale that Westworld is spinning. Especially from where it started, which is just like, oh, here's this park where you get to be in the Old West and shoot guns and go to a place and, do that stuff.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, they made you feel sympathy or affection towards the hosts that weren't human. But man, when that dragon, man, should I be spoiling Game of Thrones? I think
no, you can spoil this. Okay, spoiler alert for Game of Thrones, but yeah, you've had time.
Late.
You've had a year.
Yeah. Okay, but when that dragon died, I jumped on my seat and yelled, "No!" I didn't cheer. I was like, "No!"
I literally jumped up and cheered, "Zombie dragon, zombie dragon!"
I never do that. Like I never we knew it was coming, but like it was a dragon dying. You're evil. Get out of here.
What? I wanted a zombie dragon.
I'm out.
How can you fault me for wanting a zombie dragon? If you don't want a zombie dragon, there's something wrong with you.
Okay, I don't mind having zombie dragons that died naturally.
Natural causes. Like, what would a natural cause? Old age?
Old age.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that.
Yeah. That's what I want, man.
Westworld, there's infinite layers. We only know of 3 parks. There's 3 other parks. Who knows what could be in those?
The space soldier park.
We have the Shogun Park.
The Space Army.
We have the Africa Park. Who knows? Maybe the next one is Jurassic Park. Just kidding. That's next week. We're going to be talking about Jurassic Park next week.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Trump's. Trump
okay. All right.
Space people. Space station.
First of all, it's called Space Force. So get it right.
Space Force Park, Gundam Park, same thing.
Anyway, there's so much we've yet to see in Westworld. Like literally, we're just scratching the surface on this story. And Game of Thrones, again, is an epic, and there's a handful of episodes that I've watched multiple times. But Westworld, it's every single thing. There's never anything that you can miss. You have to know, because it all weaves such an intricate story. It's amazing. The storytelling and the character development and the acting on this show just make it better for me. Both great shows. I just think Westworld's better.
Game of Thrones is better.
All right, you guys know what to do. You don't like the piano and keyboard reiterations of songs?
Nah, skip it.
What do you mean Skip what?
I skipped the intro for
No,
Westworld.
during the episodes.
Whatever, man.
Oh no. You're upsetting Maggie. You're upsetting Maggie. I can hear her. Anyway, you guys let us know at Ali Aintrazi on Twitter, at jparnell1 on Twitter, at ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter. Ali, where else can people find you other than Twitter?
GatheringMatch.com. Every Friday, I have article going up tomorrow with some brews with M19. You want to check that out, especially if you like Nexus of Fate.
I do like Nexus of Fate.
Me too. And then also at Twitter and twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi. I'm going to try to be streaming next week. I'm going to try with a stream schedule up. I need to get back into that.
Very nice.
You know. Yeah. Going to try to. We'll see.
Excellent.
I should. All right.
You can find me on searchthegames.com and YouTube. I'm the host of the Commander Versus series. We did just end the season, but I would recommend you stay tuned to the channel just in case. I'm just saying, like, just in case something happens. That's all I'm saying. You don't know. You don't know. You can find the show, in addition to ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter, you can find the show, if you want to email us directly, thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. You can also find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, or any other podcast application. We would love for you to leave a review for us. That really helps our reach get out. You can also find us streaming on twitch.tv/thinktwicemtg, streaming once or twice a week. We're kind of getting to the groove of things. I had my house upset. Ollie is living in a new place right now, so it's a weird place with us streaming, but we're going to try to get back on the wagon, as Ollie said previously. You can also support us at patreon.com/thinktwicempg. We have a lot of different rewards tiers that you can support us at, and we give you cool stuff. Sometimes it's tokens, sometimes it's playmats, sometimes it's deck lists, sometimes it's a special access to our Discord, which we have a lot of fun at. That one is only $1 per episode. And I believe it is my turn to say what the Discord animal of the week is.
Okay, I'm ready.
The Discord animal of the week is Delta, the Aki monitor. Delta's adorable.
Delta. I would fly Delta if she was if Delta was the hostess or stewardess. Is Delta male or female?
It's just Delta. I don't know. I didn't ask.
Delta.
I just like Delta.
Right,
Delta, the Aki monitor. You are the Discord animal of the week for being the most adorable face that I've seen this week.
Congratulations, Delta.
All right. We also want to give a special thank you to our graphic designer, Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com. Our director and producer, John Choi. And, of course, our agent of Bolas producers, Daniel Hunt, Matt Lindell, and Liam Whelan. Thank you guys so much. You, the true MVPs, as Ollie likes to say.
Yep. The truest of MVPs. Thank you.
The very truest. Okay. Next week, we're going to be getting into, like we said, Jurassic Park or Jurassic World.
Come on,
well, I was thinking Westworld. Oh, I guess it's just Jurassic World. Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, whatever. You know what I mean. We're getting into that. We're also going to start talking about Commander. Not Commander. I had that on the brain. Core 19, Magic Core Set 2019. So many names.
Oh yeah.
All right, Ollie, you're the best co-host that any other co-host could ever have.
You're the best friend ever. That best friend could ever have.
You're the
ever.
Best.
Best.
You guys are also the best. We love you very much. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.